Everyone, welcome to my civil engineering YouTube channel. Please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when I post my new videos. So today I'll be discussing the concept of bending and buckling experienced in the different civil engineering structures. So here, before going to that, we need to understand the concept of bending as well as buckling. So here I have considered a beam member, so wherein it is subjected to the load of magnitude equal to P. So initially you can just observe the initial position of the beam was straight before application of load. So after the application of load, it is in the bent shape due to the deflection which is experienced due to the application of external load. So now coming on to the concept of the bending, so usually bending occurs in the horizontal members, so that is beams and slabs. So next, displacement as in case of beams and slabs, that is in the horizontal members, will be along the direction of load applied. If you just observe in this sketch, so load applied is in the downward direction, so therefore the displacement or deflection will be in the downward direction itself. So therefore I can specify that the direction of the load application will be same as the direction of the displacement also. Next, coming on to the strength of the structure, so bending is always directly dependent on the strength of a structure. So as and when the load is applied onto the structure, so there will be application of stress, experiencing stress. So due to the application of the external load, there will be deflection. In turn, there will be bending. So it causes a stress which is called as a bending stress. So therefore, bending is always dependent on strength of a structure. So next, coming on to the next important thing in the concept of bending is load application. So here you can just observe that the beam member and this dotted line represents the neutral axis. So always, as in case of bending concept, so the load application is always in the direction perpendicular to the direction of the neutral axis. So always the load application is perpendicular to the direction of neutral axis as in case of bending. Next comes the very important and interesting concept, so that is, it is bending is not considered as failure of a structure. So why? Because so whenever the beam deflect due to the application of external load, so if it is within the permissible limits as per the codal provisions, so then it is not considered to be as failure of the structure because it will be in the permissible limits. So therefore it will not be, it will be in the safer zone, so therefore it is resistant to extreme failure conditions. So therefore it is not considered to be as failure of a structure. So this is regarding to the concept of bending. So next, coming on to the concept of buckling. So usually if you just take up the concept of buckling, it is considered in the vertical members. So usually the vertical members may be columns. So next, coming on to the displacement of a structure. So here if I just consider the load, here the load is applied along the neutral axis. If you just see here, it is applied along the neutral axis and displacement is experienced perpendicular to the direction of application of load. So here the load applied is along the y axis and the displacement is along the x direction. So always in case of the columns or the vertical members, the load application, the displacement will be in the perpendicular to the direction of the load application. So therefore, next, coming on to the next important interesting thing, the buckling is dependent on stability of a structure. So it is the sign of instability, or it is a sign of stability issue. So therefore, whenever when the load is applied on a column, it should ensure that it should have maximum resistance towards buckling, because buckling is considered to be as failure of a structure irrespective of its magnitude. However it might be, like it might be maximum or minimum, so it is considered to be as failure of a structure. So therefore, if the column buckles, then it is considered to be as a stability issue. So therefore, it is dependent on stability of a structure. Next, it is the it always buckling occurs due to the application of load in the axial direction. So always the load is applied along the longitudinal direction or the axial direction in case of vertical members. So this is regarding to the concept of buckling of a structure. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe the video. Thank you.